So one of the things we're doing today is we are taking water that comes into this manifold and we are going to make a new line and run it all the way out into our flower beds. That way we're not dragging 200 feet of hoses all across our flower beds. This is one of the things last year that was a big problem for us, and we had to be real careful and move the hose around all over the place. So one of the things we're doing this spring is to get this line dug and water out into the field, so we have a pressurized water source right in the center of everything. So come along with us and I'll show you how we did it. All right, so here is our water manifold. This is where the water comes in to the flower farm, which is all fenced in. And the water comes in right down here from the ground up into our manifold. And what we are going to do is we're going to dig down right in here, and we're going to bring in a new pipe that's going to go right through here. We've already kind of trenched way down there to the other side of the first 40-foot beds, in between the two rows of 40-foot beds, to that white post right there, and that's where our water is going to come out. And then we're also going to tee off of that, come around to this side of the 40-foot beds to this white post right here, and then put a hose bib right there. That's going to allow us to have water all the way to that back corner behind where Mona is, right back to that corner. Instead of taking a 300 feet of hose, we can actually have a water source pressurized way out here and also right here, so that we can get to these 50-foot beds easier, and also these 10 40-foot beds.
The trenches that we're digging are only 8 to 12 inches deep, not very deep at all. We live very south, and freeze isn't too much of an issue, so we don't have to go too crazy deep with these lines. And right here, we're just connecting all of the trenches together in preparation for our pipes.
All right, so we are trenching out this spot right here, and we are all the way to that post. McKenna's over there helping me trench out. Also, I want to show you this cool, let me show you this cool flower. I don't even know what it's called. This is Bupleurum. It holds water. It's so cool. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. All right, let's keep digging.
When you're trenching these lines, take your time. Just go through it nice and slow, methodically. Take lots of breaks. Make sure your lines are straight. You don't have a lot of ups and downs and curves. That's going to put added stress on your PVC lines as you go. As you can see, I'm taking breaks now and again, just taking it slow.
Remember to hydrate. And take lots of breaks like Pugsley. You can be a chubby little puppy. Right, Puggy? You don't care. He's looking for something to eat.
All right, the time has come for a lesson in PVC bonding. Some reason the audio didn't work, so you're going to get a lesson from me through my microphone. That is a coupler that's connecting two straight lines, two straight sticks together. When you are bonding PVC, you want to use a primer and a cement. So what I'm doing right here is I am taking the coupler and I am going to prime with the purple primer, basically paint the inside of that coupler. And you want to make sure you're using primer liberally. As you can see, I painted the whole thing. And you want to make sure that you prime the outside of the PVC sticks. It takes very little time to dry, but it's important that you prime and cement both the PVC pipe and the coupler. You don't want to just do one of each. Cement on one side, primer on the other. Prime both. Make sure you have it nice and clean. The primer acts as a cleaner as well. So you're priming the outside of the pipe and the inside of the coupler. And make sure you cover the entire thing, as you can see. Once the primer is done, it only takes a few seconds. It's already dry. And now you can go back with your cement. And you're going to cement the pipe and the inside of the coupler. Very important you do both. I'm sure I'm saying something really important right there. So also safety, making sure that you are outdoors when you're using this stuff. It is very much a lot of fumes. It'll make you dizzy, so be careful. This is an important part. After you glue both the pipe and the coupler, you want to hold it and push it as far as it'll go in. It has a stopper on the inside of that coupler. Hold it in there for a few seconds. If you don't, sometimes it has a tendency to pull away from itself, and you won't have a solid bond, and it has a good chance of leaking. So once you push that all the way in, you want to hold it just for a second or two or more if you have a chance to let that glue bond with each other, the coupler and the pipe, and we're done. Here's another look at what I'm talking about. Primer, cement, hold it. Once you let go, you see how it's pushing out? It has a tendency to push away. So you got to hold it just for a couple of extra seconds, and then it'll bond and stay.
Live at Good Ground Farm.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Hello!
Hello.
We have just finished putting all of the piping in and glued, and we are praying that it will hold. We want to take you along for the ride. So let's go for a quick tour before we flush the lines. So at the source, we put in a T with a shutoff valve so we can shut the water off to the new lines. And it goes all the way down. We tee it off right there, and then we go to the left and all the way down to the middle of our first newest 10 40-foot beds. At this point, we will eventually secure it to that post, but right now we're just checking it, and then we'll make sure that it's insulated for the winter. And then we come back down. Break a 90 here, all the way back up to the middle of the 40-foot beds on this side, to another post just like the other one. The reason we're doing this is because we have our newest beds over here. We have 10 more 40-foot beds that we're preparing for the spring. And to bring water with a hose would be hundreds of feet. So we have pressurized water out here in the middle of these 40-foot beds to make life a little easier. Okay, the water's turned on to the manifold. It's turned off at the new extension of our water. And we don't have the hose bibs on yet. And there's a good reason for that. While you're installing these pipes, you want to make sure that you flush them all out first, because there's going to be some debris possibly in there, some soil, rocks, who knows what got in there while you were installing those pipes. So we don't put the hose bibs on first. We just let the water flow out and flush all of the big sediment out before you put on the hose bibs. So here we go.
I'm gonna fierce.
You can go slow, you don't have to go fast. Okay. Real soon, we're gonna have water coming out of that hose bib. We did it! We've got water!
Yay. High five.
Say it again. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. Thank you
right.
very much. Thank you, McKenna.
I didn't really do much. It was all his.
Now, the next thing that you do after you flush your system and get all the sediment out is you want to attach your hose bibs. Once you attach the hose bibs, use Teflon tape and secure them. And then you want to make sure you pressure test your new lines for at least 24 hours. Check every last joint that you did for any type of leak before you bury your lines again. That's very important. Sometimes you get really excited and you're just ready to bury the lines and be done with it. 24 hours, pressure test it, and then bury your lines when that's done.
The next day, we have pressure tested, no leaks. Now we are burying our line, putting the weed barrier back on. Just remember where you put your line so you don't dig into it later. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Have a good one.